Okay, well, thank you, and welcome to our audience. So today we're going to spend the next hour of talking about wage and hour liability, a ticking time bomb. Of course, there's some changes coming on with the new administration. We don't necessarily know what those are yet, so we'll have to assume that remain in place until someone changes them. So with that, let's get started. And we'll have some time at the end for you to ask questions or make comments. So with that, let's go to the next slide. So let's start with just a quick update of some settlements and some litigation that was held on wage and hour issues. Of course, we know that in comparison to other EEOC issues, the issues actually exceed the number of issues from the EEOC. So this is the leading cause of potential liability for your organization. So let's go through a couple of quick settlements, and then we'll go into the detail. So the value of the top 10 wage and hour class actions increased from $215.3 million to $695.5 million in according to the annual report by Safe Fair Shaw. So you can see that this is an issue, and it's growing, and it's going to be with us for some time in the future, notwithstanding who's in the administration and who the president is. Also in the news, we saw that there was a franchise filed in a New York court claiming that the company's faulty payroll system led to workers being underpaid a total of $565,000 for 10 of its stores. New York is seeking that amount for the employees, but wants a full accounting of any wages are earned or owed to the employees. So you can see then that there's a number of ways that employers can get into trouble. And one is having a faulty payroll system. Maybe the desire and the intent was to pay timely, but in this case, a faulty payroll system that the employer probably didn't know about led to subsequent liabilities. In another case, the Department of Labor announced in a consent judgment, and this is where it actually went to trial, requiring the owners of two Johnny Rocket restaurants in Washington, D.C. To pay $571,000 in back wages and liquidated damages to 55 servers who were denied the minimum wage in overtime. So as you think about this is a case where a restaurant has workers, and the workers will typically be subject to the minimum wage and have overtime. And this was a case where the restaurant was charged with not paying the workers properly. So the lawsuit sought to recover $285,000 in minimum wages and overtime back pay, including misappropriated tips, plus an equal amount of liquidated damages. Additionally, the defendants failed to pay the required overtime wages to employees when they worked more than 40 hours a week, and did not keep accurate records of the hours worked by employees. So this was a number of issues then that were raised against Johnny Rocket's restaurant. This was just two restaurants, and so not only paying the minimum wage and overtime, but really failing to keep accurate records. And when you don't keep accurate records, then the courts typically go by whatever the claimant or the employee says was true, and you have no way to refute them. So accurate records has a number of reasons for you to be aware of, and to make sure that even if you do have a claim, you can say, well, here's the potential liability we have. You're helping determine liability rather than having the liability determined by either the U.S. government department or perhaps the courts. In another case in the 10th Circuit, in Perez versus El Tiqua, ruled that